In today's video, I'm going to be ranking every single Five Nights at Freddy's action figure ever made to find out what is the best one. We're going to be looking at every Funko figure, every Jazzwares figure, and even $1,000 custom Five Nights at Freddy's figures to see if they can be even better than officially made figures. So let's get right into it. So here is our real-life tier list that we will be using to rank every single Five Nights at Freddy's action figure ever made. So, of course, we're going to be starting out with the first ever figures made, which is the Funko figures. So, laid out here, I have every single Funko figure ever made. And we're going to be starting off with the very first one, Freddy Fazbear. I mean, he was the first guy in the line. He's a iconic, classic figure, and I think for that, Freddy deserves to go in A tier. He's a classic Freddy Fazbear. You can't get more simple than him, but he doesn't belong in S because he has top teeth and he's not super accurate. Next up for every FNAF figure is Bonnie. Now, Bonnie looks pretty good. I'd say he's a pretty solid figure. He has some nice withering, but again, he has those top teeth and he even has a bunny tail, which I don't think Bonnie actually has. So for that, I am going to put him in B tier for Bonnie. I just don't think he's personally as good as the Freddy figure, and I think it could be even better. Now we have Chica the Chicken, and Chica is honestly a pretty solid figure, again with those top teeth that are inaccurate, but for her accessory she even comes with Mr. Cupcake, and that's a really nice accessory, as well as the paint on her is really good, like her shiny toes. So I think Chica belongs right up here in A tier next to Freddy. So no S tiers so far, but also no F tiers. And guys, I want your predictions in the comments below. What do you think is going to be the best action figure ever made, and what do you think is going to be the worst action figure? But this can't be a FNAF action figure video without giving away a ton of sealed Jazzwares FNAF action figures. Now, if you're a real Puggle fan, you already know how to enter in the giveaway, but in case you don't worry, I will let you guys know how you can win any of these Jazzwares FNAF figures at the beginning of the Jazzwares segment of this video. But for now, we have to get back to ranking these Funko figures. So the next figure we're taking a look at is the classic Foxy figure. And honestly, I think this Foxy figure is probably the best Foxy figure to ever exist. The Jazzwares ones aren't too great. This one is actually accurate, having its top teeth. Foxy's the only FNAF 1 character with top teeth. Has a full endoskeleton inside. He has his hook. He has his posable legs. He has a articulated endoskeleton hand. All the details on him are really great. I gotta be honest, I think Foxy is our very first S tier. So there he goes right up there. Foxy is our first S tier figure. Now checking out the next one, Golden Freddy. You guys know I love Golden Freddy so much. He sits on my bed. Well, no, he doesn't sit on my bed. He's normally in this corner. I had to move him. But this Golden Freddy figure, it kind of sucks. First of all, it's just a recolored Freddy. You can tell because they gave him eyelids, as you can see. Golden Freddy does not have eyelids. He has pure black eyes, so that's already a missed point. Second of all, for some reason, the band on Golden Freddy's top hat is there like he's Toy Freddy. Golden Freddy has no band on his top hat, as you can see, and they even gave him upper teeth. This isn't Golden Freddy. This is just a recolored Freddy Fazbear action figure. So, as much as I love Golden Freddy, this figure sucks. It is going in C tier. It's just not a very good figure. It's not very well made. And for the Build-A-Figure of the wave is Springtrap. Now, Springtrap was a free figure back in the day. If you bought all 5 of these figures, you got Springtrap, and I'm gonna be honest, he's amazing. Not only is he a free figure, he's one of the most detailed and most popular characters in the series. They gave him so much attention to detail. They added the spring locks on his legs where they stick through, all the flesh on his feet, the detail on his face. I mean, Springtrap, in my opinion, is the best Springtrap figure we've ever gotten, and it's the only Springtrap figure we've ever gotten. They never made a Jazzwares Springtrap, at least not yet. So, Springtrap is going up in S tier. Springtrap is a amazing figure. And the last figure of the wave is the exclusive figure, who is glow-in-the-dark Foxy. Now, this is the most expensive Five Nights at Freddy's Funko figure ever made, being worth $500 to $1,000. And guess what? He sucks! Dude, just because he's $1,000 doesn't mean he's good. He's orange. Foxy isn't orange, and his glow-in-the-dark gimmick is horrible. Let me show you. Alright guys, we're in my bathroom right now, charging up glow-in-the-dark Foxy with the world's brightest flashlight, and I'm gonna turn this flashlight off, and are you guys ready to see how well this $1,000 Foxy glows in the dark? He barely does! I know it looks like a lot on camera, but that's because I have a pretty bright camera. In real life, he barely glows at all. He glows a lot more like that in real life. He barely glows, especially for a $1,000 figure, and the lower half doesn't even glow in the dark. His legs, his pants, nothing glows. He sucks. So for all those reasons, being a orange uncolored version of Foxy, being over $1,000 so it's impossible to get, and being the first ever exclusive ever made when they could have made something cool like Endoskeleton, he is our very first F tier figure. He actually sucks. He's worse than Foxy in every way, and he's more expensive. $1,000 more expensive. And now we're checking out Wave 2 with the Nightmare animatronics. So first up, we have Nightmare Freddy. He actually came with a figure of the Freddle, the only character in Wave 2 to come with a exclusive accessory, and Nightmare Freddy I think is perfect. He now has waist articulation that can move, his face is very well detailed, and he comes with a Freddle. I'm putting Nightmare Freddy at S tier. He is a amazing FNAF figure, and honestly I can't think of anything else to change. Nightmare Bonnie, on the other hand, is definitely a pretty good figure. He definitely looks like Nightmare Bonnie, but my main issue is his eyes. Nightmare Bonnie has, like, gray endoskeleton eyes, and this one has pure white eyes that are really jarring. You can see those from very far away. I don't think that's very accurate, so I'm putting him with the other Bonnie in B tier just because his eyes look, well, super weird. Now, next up, for Nightmare Chica, and her eyes are weird again. She has a blue eye when it's supposed to be gray. So when Funko sees a gray eye, they either make it white or they make it blue. Why? You have gray paint, you used it on her endoskeleton, but I think she's really awesome that she's holding the Nightmare Cupcake. So Nightmare Cupcake does get his own figure as he's being held by her, and honestly, I don't really have any complaints. I think she's a awesome Nightmare Chica figure, but because of that eye, she's not perfect, so she won't go in S tier, but she definitely goes in A tier, as I think she's a very solid figure. Next up, checking out Nightmare Foxy, and Nightmare Foxy is, well, a very, very good version of Foxy. He articulates at the waist, he has big, shiny, spiky feet, he has his Nightmare Foxy hook, which is a kind of small, I definitely think it could be figure, and he has a pretty accurate Nightmare Foxy face. So, honestly, I feel like his hook could have been scarier and his teeth could have been sharper, so he's not S tier, but I do think he is still a really, really good figure, so we're putting Nightmare Foxy right here in A tier. And the next figure we have is Toy Foxy. I hate this figure so much. If you guys know me, I hate this figure. This is my least favorite FNAF figure ever made. Like, she sucks, because what is the point of her existing? She never shows up in FNAF 4 at all. You make all the nightmares, and you don't make Nightmare Fredbear the main character of FNAF 4. You don't even make Plush Trap or Nightmare either. There's so many main characters that they missed out on, and instead they make stupid Toy Foxy a FNAF World character. And yes, I love FNAF World, but this is horrible. It doesn't even look like a FNAF World figure. She also has these disgusting, giant, meaty eyebrow eyelashes that look awful. She's just so stupid. You can tell she's based on the FNAF World design because she has a hook. Normal Toy Foxy doesn't have a hook. This figure sucks, it's ugly, and it took away our Nightmare Fredbear Funko figure. So I'm putting this in F tier. This figure is awful, and I hate it. Oh my god, I hate it so much. Now, for the buildable figure of the wave, it came with Nightmarion. A very cool figure. I still think the buildable figure should have been Nightmare or Nightmare Fredbear, as they're a lot more popular and a lot more cool, but Nightmarion's really awesome. I'm wearing a Nightmare... Can you see it? I'm wearing a Nightmarion shirt right now. I love Nightmarion. He is awesome. But this figure isn't awesome. Yes, the figure is 100% accurate. He has his ribs, and mine's missing his arm. I threw him really hard one day, and his arm broke, so I'm sorry, Nightmarion. But the thing that sucks the most about his figure is he can't stand up. He has no stand, and getting the limbs on this figure is impossible. The limbs are either super janky like this one foot, or the limbs never want to stay on. The joints on this figure are very, very poorly made, so all the pieces want to pop off. See, just like that. You can't even move his arm. His arm is now on the floor because it's that bad. So he looks awesome. He's accurate, but the joints are awful, and they didn't even give him a stand. So honestly, I gotta put him in D tier. And look, he's not even gonna look. See, that's how you stand. He has to stand up against a wall. But right, I don't want to move him because I don't want him to fall down. But yeah, his limbs fall off. He's just a very poor buildable figure, especially because Springtrap is such an amazing figure. And now let's check out the exclusive of the wave, being Jack Jacko Chica, I think this is a perfect exclusive. The exclusive figures that Funko does are normally just recolors of normal figures, and the Jackos are recolors of the Nightmare characters, so I think that is a great exclusive figure to make, especially because Jacko Chica isn't a main figure, so if you can't pick her up, you're not missing out on too much. But this Jacko Chica figure, I love so much. The orange, like, clear crystal they added in her face looks amazing. She comes with the giant pumpkin accessory, so she's not actually just a recolor. She comes with a whole new pumpkin figure. They actually removed her eyes when they recolored her, unlike this Chica, and they gave her a new hand that isn't holding a Nightmare Cupcake, so she's not technically a recolor. For that, I love Jacko Chica. She's a perfect figure. I'm putting her up in S tier. So those are the first two waves of FNAF figures. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me so far. And now we're checking out Sister Location. Now, next up is the Sister Location wave of the Funko figures, starting off with the classic Circus Baby. Now, Circus Baby is a really, really good looking figure, but some of the issues I have is her faceplates aren't painted at all, and that may sound like a weird complaint, but they painted one of Funtime Freddy's faceplates, so I'm not too sure why they didn't paint Circus Babies. So she is a really good figure, and she has a microphone and everything. I think she looks really awesome, but because her faceplates are not painted, I'm going to be putting her in A tier. Now, next up is Ballora, and I think Ballora is low-key a perfect figure. Even though her faceplates aren't painted, she comes with an entire stand to stand up on because they know she has tiny feet, something they should have done for Nightmare on. And honestly, I'm not even a Ballora fan. I don't care for her. I think this figure is nearly perfect. Some of my only issues are none of her details are painted, like the pearls around her neck, on her chest, and her little crown. Those could use some paint. But other than that, I don't care for Ballora in the slightest, but I think this figure is so well made. I mean, look at this. She can literally do the Ballora pose. I think she is nearly perfect, missing just a little bit of paint. Now, next up is Funtime Freddy. Funtime Freddy is, well, he's perfect. Even though one of his faceplates is painted, he's the only one with a painted faceplate, and you can tell how good it looks. I mean, that just looks amazing. Bon Bon is literally perfect. On these other animatronics, they didn't bother coloring their joints. They're either gray or white, but all of Funtime Freddy's joints are pink, and they look amazing. The pink joints is such a perfect detail. It's not canon or accurate, but I love it. It looks amazing. He has Bon Bon. He has his microphone. He is, well, he's perfect. Funtime Freddy is going right up here in S tier because Funtime Freddy is perfect. Next up after that is Funtime Foxy. Funtime Foxy is a really well-made figure, honestly, but there's definitely some issues. First of all, the paint on her fingernails just goes all the way around onto her fingertips, so it looks good like that, but it goes all the way to the front, which doesn't look very good. Funtime Foxy looks pretty solid. The tail looks great. Everything about her looks awesome, but I don't know. The tan color on her, I feel like, is a bit much. I don't remember this tan being all over Funtime Foxy, so because of that, I'm going to put Funtime Foxy in B tier, just because, I mean, they're fine, but I don't know, there's nothing too special about them. They're just Funtime Foxy. And the Build-A-Figure of this wave is entered, and oh my god, he was meant to be a Build-A-Figure. He is literally parts of every single Sister Location animatronic ever. It's genius to make entered the Build-A-Figure, but it's so simple. Not only that, he is perfect. All four of his faceplates are painted, and he has every single eyeball. The eyeball there, the eyeball on his chest, the eyeball on his arm, and the eyeball on his leg. This could possibly be one of, if not the best Funko figures ever made. If you said this was your favorite Funko figure or the best one ever made, I wouldn't argue with it. I would say, you know what? Yeah, it is. So easy S tier. Ennard is just, he's perfect. And now for the exclusive figure of the wave, Lolbit. I love Lolbit so much. Lolbit is probably my second favorite FNAF character ever, of course, besides Candy Cadet. But this Lolbit figure, well, it kind of sucks. It is just a recolored Funtime Foxy, and Funtime Foxy isn't a great figure. Funko can recolor figures properly, like they did for Jacko Chica. They removed Nightmare Cupcake and removed her eyes. But this one, they couldn't even be bothered to remove Funtime Foxy's eyebrows, so Lolbit doesn't have eyebrows. That looks weird. Couldn't be bothered to remove Funtime Foxy's eyelids. As you can see, the eyelids are still there. And well, the paint on this figure is very sloppy. Look at the teeth and the jaw. This is one of the sloppiest painted figures I've ever seen. The orange goes onto the teeth, and the teeth go into the mouth. It's just, I love Lolbit so much. I love Lolbit. Even the joints are colored orange. I think that's an awesome detail, but, well, it's not made very well. The paint is sloppy, and it's just, honestly, a pretty lazy recolor. So, they did Lolbit so dirty, I unfortunately have to put Lolbit in C tier. Lolbit is a amazing character, and this figure does not do Lolbit justice. It's disappointing. So, those are the sister location characters. Do you agree with my ranking? And now we are checking out the Pizzeria Simulator. Next up in the Pizzeria Simulator line, starting off with Rockstar Freddy. And he used to be the only Rockstar Freddy, but now with the competition from Jazzwares, there's a couple choices on him that I'm just not a fan of. Now, I love the texture that Funko gives these figures, but they work for the Fnaf 1 animatronics. For these, they should have given them the smooth texture like Sister Location, because these are smooth plastic animatronics. This wrinkly texture doesn't work too great. As well as his giant mouth, which is just like a giant black block. I don't know, it doesn't look that good. The star isn't very shiny. I'm gonna say, honestly, Rockstar Freddy is a C tier character. He doesn't look very good, he's not very accurate, and we have a way more accurate figure now. Now the next one we have up is Rockstar Foxy, and I think he honestly looks better. His details are better. Of course, he has the texture, which I'm not the biggest fan of on these figures, but he has his peg leg, which he can stand on, and he even has Pickles the Parrot. I think those are really great details. Again, he's not the best figure. I would change the whole texture about him, and maybe his colors aren't the most accurate, and he has a bit of a hard time standing on that peg leg. Come on, Rockstar Foxy. Stand. See, this is... Come on, stand up. Okay, there. Yeah, see, he's kind of difficult to get to stand, so I think he belongs in B tier. Next up is Orville Elephant, and this figure's just kind of lame. Orville is a pretty lame character. I mean, yeah, the figure looks kind of accurate, but it's just like, why would they make this? Why wouldn't they make better figures like Molten Freddy or Scrap Trap, or I don't know, just any other characters besides Orville? He feels very random, and he's just, I don't know, he's not a very cool character. I don't know why they would make this. He's not bad looking, but I'm putting him in B because I feel like they could have made a lot cooler characters, you know? I feel like he doesn't look great. Now, Pig Patch is another character that is very questionable. Out of all the mediocre melodies, they only made Orville and Pig Patch, which feels very random. I'm not sure why they only made 2 of the mediocre melodies. I mean, this could have been Scrap Trap and Molten Freddy instead, but we got the pig. And, I mean, he's not great. The paint on his eyes is pretty sloppy. The giant black, block in his mouth looks weird because he only has 2 teeth, so it doesn't look very good. And, I don't know, he's just kind of poorly made. His feet are just copied off the Fnaf 1 feet, which isn't super accurate, and his hands are just copied off of Orville's hands. The only new things about this figure is his torso and his head. Everything else is reused, so he's pretty mediocre, you could say, like a mediocre melody. Alright, I'm sorry. And the last normal figure we have is El Chip, and this is another figure that I'm like, why? Why do merch companies love El Chip so much? Funko is obsessed with El Chip. They gave him an action figure, a plushie, and a mystery mini. Why? What did El Chip do to ever be that cool? El Chip is a joke character. He's meant to just be funny. And of course, he did get more cred in Security Breach, as he has an entire restaurant, which I think gives him a little more justice for being made into a figure. El Chip is at least based off Chipper & Sons, which is Scott Cawthon's first ever game, so I think this figure justifies to be made a little bit more, and he's got giant details. He has a big old sombrero, which looks really good, and a big old beaver tail. So even though I think he's kind of questionable to be made, I think he's very well made, and he deserves to be made more than Orville and Pig Patch because he's a one-off character that doesn't really belong to anything, so I think he makes more sense. But where this series I feel like does best is Lefty and Scrap Baby. So I'm gonna save Scrap Baby because I want to look at Lefty first, the exclusive of the wave. Now the exclusives are always recolors, and it is a no-brainer to make Lefty because Lefty is just a recolored Rockstar Freddy. But the thing that really upsets me about Lefty is he is holding the microphone in his right hand. His name is Lefty, and you give him a right hand. He holds his microphone in the left hand. Funko can switch hands for recolors. They did it for Nightmare Chica. His name is Lefty, and you give him a right hand. Everything else about him is fine, but I mean, it's just the same character with different colors, so I'm gonna put him in B tier, simply because they were so lazy, they couldn't just switch the hand and put it right here. They have left hands that hold things. They use them on Pig Patch and Orville. Use the same hands. Just use use them. They used it on L-Chip too. They gave L-Chip Pig Patch and Orville left hands, but on Lefty they gave him a right hand. Yeah, you know, that's pissing me off so much. He goes in C tier. I was gonna put him in B tier, but he made me angry. And the very last figure is the Build-A-Figure, the figure that you got for free, Scrap Baby. Oh my god. This is why I say I wish Funko made Scrap Trap and Molten Freddy, because this is, in my opinion, the best Funko figure ever made. The detail on this character is absolutely beautiful. And I think the way she looks is perfect. Her design, everything about it is literally perfect. Her claw, her skates, but this figure has a huge issue, and it's that she is impossible to put together. If you ever tried to assemble this figure, you know it's impossible. I broke her neck, and her head is super glued in there, so her head can never turn. Her joints, like her heels, her roller skates, fall off all the time. She's probably one of the most poorly made Fnaf action figures. You can look it up online. Almost every single Scrap Baby has a broken neck that had to be super glued in. I think you can, yeah, you can see a strand of glue there because I had to glue her head in, even though she looks perfect. This figure was literally made to break. It is impossible to have this figure and not break her, which honestly sucks. It's very disappointing. But that is the entire Pizzeria Simulator line. Do you agree with my ranking? I want to put Scrap Baby in S tier so bad. She looks so good, but the way she is built and designed, I can't. I literally can't, because her head breaks, her neck breaks, her arms and legs break. She's just so poorly made for such a good figure. So do you agree with my ranking? Not a single Pizzeria Simulator. Is Scrap Baby really on the same tier as L-Chip? Yeah, she breaks. She's built to be broken, which sucks. So all these figures, none of the Pizzeria Simulators were D or F tier, because I don't think they're that bad. They're not that, I don't know. They don't deserve to be that low. I mean, yeah, they're lame characters, but I don't know. So now let's move on to the next wave, which is Security Breach. Checking out the next figures is the Security Breach figures, and this is low-key where Funko fell off. They only had 4 good waves because they stopped doing free buildable figures after that because they got greedy and they didn't want to give away figures for free anymore because they're losers. So the first one, Glamrock Freddy, and well, nothing is glam rocky about this. He is ugly. If you guys can tell, it is just a recolored Funtime Freddy head. Check that out. That is just Funtime Freddy's head. That looks nothing like Glamrock Freddy. Glamrock Freddy basically has a small head and a very large body. He has huge shoulders, a big like V-taper torso and everything. They didn't give that to him. They gave him a giant Funtime Freddy head, and they said, you know what, let's just give him a basic Freddy body and add some little arm cuffs on there. They didn't add any spikes. He looks awful. I'm putting this figure in D tier. It could somehow be worse. I don't know. It could be even worse, but yeah, it sucks. It looks nothing like Glamrock Freddy. And it came with no free figure. Next up is Glamrock Chica, and oh my god, this figure is somehow even uglier. They chose the classic Chica head to recolor. As you can see, that is the classic Chica head. Same Chica beak. So her head is giant, round, and ugly, when Glamrock Chica's head, again, is pretty small. Her body is a lot larger. And her body, I don't know what is going on here. The body is so weird and tiny and skinny and not accurate at all. Her face is horribly ugly. The paint on this figure is super sloppy, as you can see from the bow tie. It's just overall, I could barely tell this looks like Glamrock Chica. This sucks, especially because Funko locked in and made, oh, look at that, an accurate Glamrock Chica. So they could have done that the whole time, and instead we have this abomination. So you are going in F tier. Go, stand up, come on. Come on, stand in F tier. And the next one we have is Montgomery Gator. I would say this one is the least bad one. It again just steals the Funtime Freddy head design. As you can see, that's Funtime Freddy's head. You can see where the lines go and everything. They did give him a snout, kind of. I mean, it barely looks like Monty. Monty has a giant body. He's meant to be the strongest animatronic, and his arms, he has little weak baby arms. I mean, look at this. Orville Elephant has bigger arms than Monty Gator. Isn't that insane? He's just so bad. But I feel like he's the best out of all the Glamrocks, which isn't saying much, so I am putting him in C tier, just because, I mean, he still sucks, he still looks awful, but he goes in C tier. And next up, the last Glamrock we have is Roxanne Wolf. And yes, Roxanne Wolf is also recolored. Roxanne Wolf is recolored off the figure I hate the most, Funtime Foxy. Look at that. That is the same head shape. So yeah, this is Funtime Foxy, but now purple is Roxanne. Her hair is like a giant brick. It's a giant flat piece of plastic, which sucks. That is some glue that got messed up and started leaking down the back of her ear. Thank you, Funko. And, well, she's just overall horrible. She stole the tail from Funtime Foxy and just added a couple little triangles on it. This looks nothing like Roxanne Wolf. You can look at this. You can barely tell that's Roxanne Wolf. Another F tier. Recolored, the figure I hate the most, and it looks nothing like her. And the final normal figure in this wave is Vanny. And oh boy, I could barely tell this is Vanny. This is probably the worst Vanny figure ever made. First of all, these joints look awful on her because she's meant to be a human, so the joints look horrible. The feet on her aren't accurate at all. All the stitching isn't accurate. This is accurate to pre-Vanny, but because these figures came out before the game even came out, so it's not accurate at all to her. Her face is horribly ugly. I don't know what this stupid expression is, but I hate it. Her mouth is just giant and dumb. Her eyes look nothing like Vanny. This doesn't look like Vanny in the slightest. It sucks. So Vanny, I hate this figure, and I am also putting her in F tier simply because of how ugly she... Stand up, Vanny. Stand up and stand in F tier where you belong. Okay, I had to pause the camera to get her to stand. But then Funko locked in for some reason and made Wave 2 of Security Breach that only included 2 figures, Sun and Moon. And these figures is like, dude, what was Funko doing? Why did they lock in so hard with Sun and Moon? These figures are 1-for-1 with the game. The face is so accurate. It even has the wires on the back of the head. It has a beautiful dirt wash, fully accurate hands, bells, finger joints, the tutu. It's fully posable pants, legs, jingles on the feet. They gave texture to the bottom of his shoes. Why? Why did they recolor the main character of the game, Glamrock Freddy? Why did they recolor Funtime Freddy and give us this? And then they said, you know what, son? Let's make him the most accurate figure we have ever produced. Why? I mean, I'm happy that they did. It's awesome. But, I mean, I don't know why they locked in so hard. He's perfect. He even has the little hook that he flies around on. Sun, easy S tier. Sun is a perfect figure. Honestly, Sun is a perfect figure. I would not change a single thing about him. And the same thing goes for Moon. Moon is basically the same character as Sun. He looks amazing. His face looks incredibly perfect. His eyes look so scary the way they're not even looking straight forward. His hat has wrinkles on the clothing, the stars, and the bell. It has that on the back, and the rest of his body is exactly the same as Sun's. It's just painted blue, but I mean, he is perfect. This is the best Moon figure ever made. I would not change a single thing about him, and he is perfect. And now there's no Build-A-Figure because Funko got cheap and lazy. Bummer. But they gave us an exclusive, and what the hell is this? There's so many characters they could have made. They could have made any of the staff bots. They could have made the Glamrock Endos. They could have made Burn Trap. They could have made the Blob. They could have made Glamrock Bonnie, a very popular character. But instead, they make photo negative Glamrock Freddy. So when you take a photo of him and you invert the colors in an editing program, he is the colors of normal Glamrock Freddy. Whose idea was this? This is a hunk of garbage. He is blue and ugly. This has to be the stupidest thing they ever made. Not even a blacklight figure, a photo negative figure. The colors aren't even cool. This thing is poop from a butt, and he goes in F tier. Because why do you exist? Why do you exist? That's something that I tell myself every day. I'm just kidding. But that is all of the Security Breach figures. A very wide variety of figures. 2 figures in S tier, none in A or B tier. 1 in C tier, 1 in D tier, and 4 in F tier. So this is easily our worst wave so far. 4 figures in F tier. I would say the best wave so far, probably tied between all 3. Each wave has 2 figures in S tier. So they're pretty tied, honestly. Besides Pizzeria Simulator, actually, Pizzeria Simulator has 0 in S tier. So technically, Pizzeria Simulator is the worst wave, but also Security Breach is the worst wave because they had 4 in F tier, and Pizzeria Simulator had 0 in F tier. So, do you agree with my rankings so far? Let me know. But now we're going to check out, the recolors. If you guys know me, or if you have any ounce of common sense, you know that this is one of, if not the worst wave of Funko figures ever made, because they're not even new figures, they're horribly lazy recolors, so I won't dilly-dally too long, and we'll get this over, like, we'll make it quick and painless. These figures are already mediocre figures. They're the worst figures of the Pizzeria Simulator wave, with no scrap baby, because they just gave up on Build-A-Figures, and I guess that even includes old waves. I don't know why they decided to re-release these, but even worse, they did not change a single thing about them, but now they have horrible plastic that's supposed to glow in the dark, but all it does is you can see through all the, like, parts where all the plastic connects, which looks super ugly. So, these figures are genuinely worthless. They are worse than the original Pizzeria Simulator in every single way, so all of these figures will be going down in F tier, because these figures are pointless to own. You don't get a scrap baby for buying them, they look super ugly, they make parts of them worse, like Foxy's hook is now white. Did they run out of paint or something? I don't know, but yeah, these suck. Foxy, please stand up for me, please. Stand? Yes. Nice, Foxy. Alright, they also break super easy. The ear broke off my Orville elephant, which sucks. So, yep, Orville elephant, you go right there, because you're garbage. Like, I already wasn't a big fan of these figures like Pig Patch, but now I can get Pig Patch, but he looks worse and he's translucent. Why would I want that? Every time Funko does a glow-in-the-dark gimmick, it sucks, like with the classic Foxy figure. It's just not how you make a figure. Same with El Chip, he is, no, he's garbage. He is garbage. And yeah, they all go in F tier because, well, dude, they suck. They really suck. But now, we get into a slightly better wave, being the Cursed Dreadbear, with actual new figures, interesting characters, and it's pretty small. There's only 5 figures in this wave, and one of them is a exclusive. So first of all, Dreadbear. Dreadbear is a really, really great figure, but his color is very off. Dreadbear is meant to be a dark green, like the Stark Springtrap, and instead, they made him minty toothpaste green, which sucks because he looks great. The sculpt of him looks awesome. His teeth look awesome. The stitching looks awesome. His giant open torso looks awesome. His bolts look awesome. He's a really great figure. The only thing that sucks is his color is he's minty green. So I'm gonna have to put him in B tier just because, well, if he was an accurate color, I think he would probably be a perfect figure. Checking out the next figure, I believe is a perfect figure. Glitch Trap. He doesn't even come with any accessories, but he doesn't need to. Glitch Trap is a amazing figure. I don't have one issue with him. The stitching on his ears, his perfect scary Glitch Trap face, his Glitch Trap body, his little vest, the stitching on the back, the little bunny tail. So much detail went into this figure. There's even wrinkles and stitches along his legs. He is perfect. Glitch Trap is a perfect figure that I would not change a single thing about. You look at this and you go, oh yeah. Oh, that is Glitch Trap, alright. Especially because he doesn't have much merch. He doesn't even have a Funko plushie or a mystery mini. So if you want Glitch Trap merch, this is your only option. And it is a amazing option. He is a perfect Glitch Trap. So he honestly belongs in S tier. I think he is perfect. Next up is Jack O'Bonnie. And Jack O'Bonnie is nearly perfect in my opinion. He goes awesomely with Jacko Chica, but I have an issue with him, and that's they made his head and torso translucent. Just like I said, it makes the figures look worse because you see the plastic rods that go through to hold them together, and this especially sucks since Jacko Chica isn't translucent at all. There was no reason to do this, and I think he's kind of disappointing because of it. But they did actually give him some nice withering, being the full yellow that goes all the way around. I like it. I just think he could be better. He's not S tier like Jacko Chica, but I love that they made him to match Jacko Chica, and if he wasn't translucent, he would be an S tier. Same goes for Grim Foxy. This Grim Foxy figure is amazing. His ears are actually hollow instead of just painting it black and pretending it's hollow. He has a giant hook like a Nightmare Foxy should. He has his giant shoulder pads, a ton of big scary detail on him, but again, unfortunately, he has a translucent torso and head. I could maybe understand the translucent torso since it is pretty see-through in the game, but the translucent head makes no sense. Grim Foxy's head is not translucent in the games at all, and I think that was a very poor decision, where it gets rid a lot of like a lot of the really nice detail, you just can't see at all, which is very, very disappointing. So I would say this is probably the most disappointing thing about this figure is he could have been so much better, but every single other part of him is great. I just feel like the translucent doesn't really work. So he will be going in A tier because I think he is a really solid figure. And the last figure of the wave sucks. This is Pirate Captain Foxy from the boat ride. And I think he's super lame. I lost his legs and I couldn't be bothered to buy a new one because, well, he's a lame figure. He's Foxy with worse colors, as you can see. He is orange. He's not as orange as the glow-in-the-dark one because he still has a snout, but he is way too bright orange. The pirate uniform is fine, I guess, like the hat and the thing, but since normally the exclusives are recolors, I wish the exclusive of this wave was exclusive Glitch Trap. Make him the green translucent color, because they love using translucents, they use it on this. Make him the glitchy Glitch Trap you see in VR mode when you're collecting the tapes, where he's all green and staticky. That would have been a way cooler exclusive that actually is canon to the game. And this guy, well, I think he's super lame. Who cares about Pirate Captain Foxy? Such a lame character. They could have made a way cooler Dreadbear figures. Maybe they could have finally made a Helpy figure. Helpy is so prominent in FNAF VR, and they never did. So this guy, I'm putting him down in, honestly, D tier. I think he has no reason to exist. He's super lame, and I couldn't even be bothered to buy a new one. But that series was very, very good. One figure in S tier, two figures in A tier, one in B tier, and one in D tier. And the D tier was just the exclusive. So this was a really solid wave with only 4 figures, 2 of them in A, 1 in S, and 1 in B. Do you agree with my ranking so far? Of course I do, because it's my ranking. But now we get into the largest Funko action figure wave ever made, and one of the worst ones. FNAF AR with over 15 action figures. Let's rank them. Now, this is it is the largest Funko wave ever made because of how many exclusives there are. There's only 5 normal figures in the wave, which is very standard, but then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12! 12 different exclusive figures. That is so many unnecessary exclusives, especially because most of them suck. They're FNAF AR characters, but hey, what can you do? Starting off with VR Toy Freddy. This is the only Toy Freddy Funko ever made, and I think that's very disappointing. They clearly have a great mold for him. Like, they could have made him look really good, and they didn't. But for VR Toy Freddy, I think he's very accurate. Again, you can see the plastic pieces throughout him, which is a little disappointing, but his feet are perfect, his hands are perfect. He has this 3D texture that isn't printed on, it's actually in the plastic. His visor is very accurate. I think for a VR Toy Freddy, he looks awesome. But VR Toy Freddy's a very lame character, so I'm not going to put him any higher than B tier, also because there's no Build-A-Figure, so that's kind of lame. Next up is System Era Toy Bonnie, and again, I think System Era Toy Bonnie is fantastic. The mold for Toy Bonnie's face looks incredible. I wish Funko made an actual Toy Bonnie. They even added his tail on the back, and he has this texture all throughout him. This is real texture, not printed on, and it feels really awesome to touch. It has such a cool feel when you hold it. It says System Era on his belly. I couldn't ask for anything more. I think this is, again, a very, very accurate figure, and I think he belongs in B tier. Even though it's a lame character I don't care about, they made him great. They made him really, really good. Next up is High Score Toy Chica, and High Score Toy Chica I don't think is very good. Her face looks really weird. Her face looks big and fat, and I'm pretty sure that's because they just reused Chica's head. You can see they reused Chica's head. They got pretty lazy. With Toy Freddy and Toy Bonnie, they made their own heads, but for Toy Chica, unfortunately, they got lazy and they reused Chica's head, which Toy Chica's head is very different. She has some really cool detail, like these pixels all over her, but yeah, unfortunately, I am going to have to put her in C tier because, well, yeah, she's meh. I don't really like her, but Radioactive Foxy. Oh, also, almost all the FNAF AR figures glow in the dark, but you guys know Funko's glow in the dark feature isn't great. Yeah. But Radioactive Foxy, I think, is an awesome figure. I think Foxy was already a great figure, but they gave him an actual endoskeleton, which, when they did this at the time, this was the first time a FNAF figure has ever had a real endoskeleton. Because they knew he was translucent, they gave him a full endo torso and full endo arms and legs, which I absolutely love. The attention to detail on this figure is incredible. He glows in the dark a lot better because he's orange, and they even fixed his hook so it's giant. I think they took the Foxy figure, which was already a great figure, gave him a real endoskeleton, glows in the dark amazing, and gave him a new hook. Just because he's Radioactive Foxy and kind of a lame character, I'm not going to put him in S tier, but I will put him in A tier because I think he is fantastic. So there he is. And we have Toxic Springtrap. Now, Funko cheaped out, and they made Springtrap, you had to pay money for him. He could have been a free buildable figure, you know, it could have been nice to the fans, but nope, you had to pay for him. His details are great. Springtrap was already an awesome figure. They made him translucent, which I'm not a fan of. Springtrap, this version of Springtrap, Toxic Springtrap, isn't translucent, but the details on his body are amazing. These goopy purple thingies all over him look really, really good. I think he's really awesome. He's held back just for the fact that he's such a forgettable character, being Toxic Springtrap, but honestly, I can't complain too much, so I'm going to put him over in A tier. I had to pause the camera to get him set up because his legs were all wonky. And now getting into the exclusives. The first exclusive we have is Live Wire Toy Freddy, and I like this guy more than Visor Toy Freddy because we get to see at that beautiful Toy Freddy face, and because he's missing his visor, and I think Funko did a perfect job with Toy Freddy's head. Hard to see it when he has that giant VR headset on, but this face is, well, it's perfect. I love it so much. This is a incredible Toy Freddy face. So many people have used this figure specifically to make Toy Freddy Funko customs, not the VR one, and I am so happy that Funko gave us a look at that amazingly modeled Toy Freddy face. It makes me wish we got the toy animatronics. So I like him more than VR Toy Freddy. I'm putting him up in A tier simply because he is a perfect Toy Freddy design. Next up is Freddy Frostbear, and I think this figure sucks. He's a recolored Freddy, and they did thankfully get rid of his top teeth, which is nice, but him being translucent is horrible. Again, you can see all that plastic, and when this figure first came out, I genuinely thought this was a bootleg figure because the ice cracks look so horrible. They don't look like ice cracks at all. This doesn't look like ice cracking. This looks like a toddler drew on him with a white crayon. They clearly can make amazing detail because look at all the detail in Lean Trap and in Angry VR Toy Freddy. There's so much amazing detail. They could have given him actual ice cracks, but no, they sloppily drew on. They didn't put any on the back either. They got super lazy. So this figure, I think he low-key sucks. I'm putting him in C tier because he looks like a bootleg when he first came out. After that is how you make an actual ice figure, Arctic Ballora. It looks like all the budget went into Arctic Ballora and not Freddy Frostbear. These icicle crystals are perfect. I don't like this character at all. I think it's a stupid, forgettable character from a game that is now deleted. But the attention to detail they put into this figure, I think, is amazing. They gave Ballora scary, sharp teeth. They made her translucent, which works with the ice because she's such a skinny figure. There's basically no joints to see because it's covered in these big, spiky pieces of ice. I think she deserves to go in A tier. She is a fantastic figure that, honestly, I really love. And next up is Easter Bonnie. I mean, yeah, it's Easter Bonnie. It's just Bonnie, but he's white with an Easter egg belly. I think he's really lame. Yeah, he's accurate, but it's like why? Why did you make him? He's stupid. He's just Bonnie, but white. So I'm putting him in C tier because, well, there's not much to say about him. He's really forgettable. Next up is Blackheart Bonnie. I hate this figure, right? He has something really cool. He has something really, really cool, and that inside of him, he has his actual black heart. You can see they gave him an endoskeleton with a black heart, which is awesome. The shattered glass on him, because he's meant to be a glass animatronic. This is how you do cracks. They could have done this on Freddy Frostbear, but they didn't. See, they can make icy, sharp cracks, but they didn't. But the thing I hate the most about this figure is his face. His face looks so stupid. They kept Bonnie's normal teeth in there, didn't even bother to remove the top teeth or the bottom teeth. They just made them translucent, hoping no one would see. And instead of removing his teeth, they gave him new teeth, and they put them behind his normal teeth, so the teeth are in the back of his throat. I think it looks so stupid. It looks like he has really tiny teeth, but giant lips. He is a horrible figure. He goes in D tier, because that is so lazy. They didn't bother removing his teeth. Next up is Shamrock Freddy. Shamrock Freddy, he looks like Poopy Shrek Freddy, because Shamrock Freddy does have a little bit of brown detail, but Funko said, you know what, let's make it look like he ran through the sewers, and they gave that little brown detail, and they just covered him in poop. This is Poop Freddy. I think he looks really stupid and gross, and again, they can do the scratching effect, because they did this here, and they didn't do it on Freddy Frostbear. I think this figure, honestly, sucks. I mean, yeah, the hat is accurate, but it's Poop Freddy, dude. It looks like he was rolling around in poop. So, yeah, he goes in C tier, because it's like, dude, come on, really? Next up is Firework Freddy, and I think this figure is amazing. When I'm recording this video, it's actually 4th of July. No, when I upload upload this video, it would be 4th of July. So happy 4th of July if you're watching this the day I uploaded it. This figure is awesome. It's a new mold of Freddy's head. If you see, it's different. The eyes are different. The eyelids are different. So they made an entire new Freddy mold, which looks really good, honestly, with no upper teeth. You can see they didn't recolor Freddy's head. This is a new Freddy mold. It looks awesome. And they gave it to Firework Freddy, which is really lame. I wish they re-released the FNAF 1 figures with updated designs. But for Firework Freddy, he looks really good. The giant firework, the like shirt and pants he has on, I think he's a stupid character, but his figure is amazing. And they bothered to remake Freddy's entire head. And the thing is, after they made this figure, they never made him again. Like, they never made him ever. They never used this mold again. They reused the stupid classic Freddy mold multiple times. When they recolored Freddy, they used the FNAF 1 Freddy. So I don't know why they made that. It's really, really dumb. But the next 4th of July character we have is Liberty Chica. I don't need to say anything. This is probably one of the worst, if not the worst, action figures ever made. This is just stupid. People have made so many memes and TikToks about this, like, why does this exist? She's just a giant chunk of plastic. I mean, yeah, she looks like Liberty Chica, but you shouldn't have made this in the first place. This is going straight in F tier. Everyone makes fun of it. Is the worst, most forgettable FNAF figure ever made. Liberty Chica, everybody. And the final figures we have are the chocolate figures. First up, we have Chocolate Freddy. They didn't even bother reusing that Freddy head. I hate this figure. This isn't even a real character. And again, they see the cracking effect. They could have done that on Freddy Frostbear, but they didn't. I hate this guy. This is Funko's OC. They made up this character just to make more money. I think this character is stupid. I don't care if I like his colors. He's colorful. I'm trying to keep bias out of this. They could have made other FNAF AR characters that have never been made because there was a whole bunch. And instead, they said, you know what? Let's get even lazier and let's make our own figure. So C tier, because I think he's stupid. Next up is Chocolate Bonnie. This is why Funko made both chocolate characters, because this figure exists. Again, cracking all over his chest. They could have done that for Freddy Frostbear, but I think he's decent. He's better than Easter Bonnie because he has giant chunks taken out of him with his endoskeleton hanging out. He's a lame character, and he's painted way too dark brown. Chocolate Bonnie is like a milk chocolate. This guy is a dark chocolate, so he will go in B tier just because, like, yeah, he's alright, but he's not that good. I know, B tier is full of Bonnies. Almost every Bonnie from every wave is in B tier because they're just not that good. I don't know, something about the Funko Bonnies. And Chocolate Chica. This is the worst figure because Chica's already an ugly character, and nothing about her stands out. She doesn't have cool candy endoskeletons like Freddy or Bonnie. She just has big bites taken out of her with no endoskeletons. I think she sucks. She's going in D tier because she has no reason to exist. So that was the FNAF AR wave. 0 figures in S tier, 4 figures in A tier, 3 figures in B tier, 4 figures in C tier, 2 in D tier, and 1 in F tier. So that was pretty surprising that it has more in A tier than in F tier. I thought that wave was worse. I guess they're fine. They're not too bad, but they just kind of, I don't know, they don't have a point to exist. And now we get into what I think is definitively the worst wave of FNAF figures ever made. The tie-dyes. The next figures, the tie-dyes, I mean, do I even need to rank them? These figures were so trash, so unwanted by every person on this earth. They were sent to the bargain bin stores. You could find these at stores like Five Below and on discount on Amazon for years. You could probably still find these on discount, even though these came out 3 years ago. They're just the classic FNAF figures, but with lazy colors, no paint details, and a stupid tie-dye detail that Funko thought they would want. Not only that, they Springtrap, instead of making him a free figure like he should have came with the rest of these figures, they also didn't make Golden Freddy, of course, because they're that lazy. Springtrap was a Walmart exclusive who cost extra money. So all these figures, say it with me, go in F tier. So Tie-Dye Freddy goes right in F tier. Enjoy your spot in F tier, Tie-Dye Freddy. You earned it. Tie-Dye Bonnie. Also, the characters don't come with any tie-dye accessories. So Freddy and Bonnie have no microphone or guitar. Tie-Dye Bonnie goes right in F tier. He looks garbage. Tie-Dye Chica. Oh, don't worry. You, Tie-Dye Chica, have earned your spot in F tier. Here you go. Down in F tier. Garbage. Next up, Tie-Dye Foxy. Oh wow, Tie-Dye Foxy looking awful. The original Foxy was in S tier. And guess what? You, my friend, are in F tier because you're that garbage. After Tie-Dye Foxy is the worst one in my opinion, Tie-Dye Springtrap, who looks like he's mold. This is Mold Trap. Mold Trap goes in F tier. And there we go. There's the entire tie-dye wave. So the entire tie-dye wave had none in any categories and all in F tier because of that garbage. Next up is another one that I personally think belongs in F tier. This is the Balloon Circus wave. These figures sucked. They don't even look like Five Nights at Freddy's figures. They look like bootlegs. Yeah, they're well made, but the joints are weird. It's just everything about this series is so weird. The figures don't fit together. They don't look like Fnaf Action Figures. They're from a canceled game that never came out. Funko thought these were so cool to give them a line of Plushies, action figures, and mystery minis. And, well, I think they're stupid. I think Funko should have never made these because nobody wants these. So guess what? They all go in F tier as well. Because I think these figures are pure garbage. I'm missing two of them. I'm missing Clown Foxy and Clown Chica, and I couldn't care less. They all go in F tier because these figures are pure garbage. They made Balloon Freddy but couldn't make Balloon Boy. Really? You made this but you can't make a Balloon Boy figure? Garbage. F tier. And Clown Bonnie. I mean, dude, this doesn't even look like Bonnie. This looks like a bootleg. Down in F tier. I think they're horrible characters. And the second to last wave is, well, another pure garbage wave. And this is why Funko lost the license. Because they made 3 waves of figures that nobody wanted, that nobody bought, and they sold so poorly, Scott had to rip the license out of their hands. So these figures had a part in losing FNAF's license. And guess what? It's Santa Claus Freddy Fazbear. This figure sucks in every single way possible. First of all, they didn't use the new Freddy head mold that they had. They reused the old Freddy head with the upper teeth. They at least got rid of the upper teeth on Freddy Frostbear, but you couldn't do it on Santa Claus Freddy. His freckles are red, and they're super spread out. You can see Freddy's freckles are small. These ones go on the side, and also, they gave him cheeks on the side of his head. They couldn't even be bothered to make, like, physical cheeks. They just put some red paint on the sides of his head where cheeks don't even belong. If they have cheeks, they're on right next to their snout. These are on the sides of his head, and the rest of the body is just a Santa Claus outfit. This barely looks like a FNAF figure. So this one, again, goes in F tier. 3 waves of figures straight that go... 3 waves of figures that go straight into F tier. This Elf Bonnie, again... The stupid cheeks on the sides of his head. Not next to his snout. On the sides of his head. His whole thing looks stupid. His giant shoes. I mean, this doesn't look like a FNAF character. They couldn't even bother removing his teeth. He just... Oh, man. He looks so awful. I really hate everything about these figures. I don't see anyone buying or wanting these figures because these figures are genuinely worthless. Especially when it's not Christmas time. These figures are just so out of season. Next up is Snowman Chica, and I would have a hard time even telling this is a FNAF figure. This barely looks like Chica, and for some reason they decided to lock in and not recolor her face and give her a whole new head, which looks kind of cool, but like, I can't even tell this is a Five Nights at Freddy's character. Could you look at this and tell me this is a FNAF character? No, you couldn't, and if you say you could, you're lying. She goes in F tier. Oh, come on, stand up, stupid. Yep, okay. And next up is Gingerbread Foxy. Gingerbread Foxy, I like a little bit. I think he's the only design that I think looks pretty good, honestly. I like the gingerbreadness. It looks pretty cool. He's not that offensive in my opinion. He still sucks, but I like him more than the others, so he goes in D tier simply because I like him a little bit. And the exclusive of the wave, in my opinion, it could be, if not, it is the worst FNAF action figure ever made. This is Nutcracker Foxy, who is a Walmart exclusive figure. Shows how much they like Walmart. His paint is horrible. He's meant to be a real Nutcracker, but obviously it doesn't work because he's a plastic action figure. So his entire torso can't turn at all. His arms also can't turn, only the bottom parts of his arms. He looks stupid. This is the ugliest FNAF figure I've ever seen, and this guy belongs in a landfill. So yeah, he goes in F tier. So, oh wow, would you look at that? The past 3 waves of action figures that we have had all ended up in F tier, besides Gingerbread Foxy. I don't think he's that bad, but D tier is still horrible. So wow, they made all these awful figures. The last wave Funko ever made has to suck, right? Nope, they locked in for some reason and made some of the best action figures ever. They only made 3, unfortunately. I wish they made all of them. But, oh my god, the Ruin figures? This is perfect! Why couldn't all the action figures be this good? This is incredible! The full Glamrock endoskeleton, full shattered, the gooey mold cheese on her face, the discolored eyes. They didn't even touch the horrible Rockstar Glamrock Chica action figure because it's so bad. They made an entirely new action figure. This is perfect. This is perfect. It goes right up in S tier. It is so unfortunate that this is the last wave Funko ever made and they decided to lock in. Same goes for Ruined Roxy. They didn't even touch the Roxy figure they already made. They made a whole new one with a 1-to-1 perfectly accurate face, giant frizzy hair, incredible endoskeleton details, the full endoskeleton body, a movable tail. This is the only Fnaf figure to ever have a tail with articulation. Absolutely incredible. The cracks and grime and detail on her look perfect. She is a perfect Fnaf figure, just genuinely perfect. And the very last figure ever made is Eclipse, or Ruined Eclipse, whatever you want to call him. The Sun and Moon figures were already great, and this figure's even better. The shattering, destroyed detail on him looks so good. His scary teeth look, oh my gosh, so scary and so awesome. Dude, everything about this figure is perfect. So the final Funko figure ever made, the final wave of Funko figures ever made, goes up here in S tier. So this is every single Funko action figure ever made. This is my S tier, this is my A tier, my B tier, my C tier, my D tier, and my F tier. D tier has the least amount of figures, with F tier having the most amount of figures, having, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 entire waves of figures. The glow-in-the-dark Pizzeria Simulator, the tie-dyes, the Balloon Circus, and the Christmas Wave, all down there. D tier is the smallest because there's so many figures that are either pure garbage or aren't that bad. There's only a couple that are like a little bit trash, but they're not that trash. So I'm gonna have to say all these figures, and every single S tier figure is so good. It's insane that the only wave to have a full wave of S tier figures is the last wave Funko ever made. But now it's time to look at Jazzwares, and before we look at them, let me explain how you enter in the giveaway. So if you guys want to enter to win any of these Jazzwares action figures, all you have to do is complete the classic 3 Pogo steps of 1, like the video, 2, subscribe to my channel, 3, leave a comment saying you finished all 3 steps, and in that comment, let me know what figures do you want. Do you want the Toy Bonnie pack? Do you want the Toy Chica pack? Do you want the rare Shadow Freddy pack? Do you want the Ringmaster Foxy, which kinda sucks? Do you want the Toy Chica jump scare, the Mangle jump scare, the Puppet with Office, or the Foxy with Office? And now, speaking of Jazzwares, it's time we rank every Jazzwares figure ever made. So it is now Jazzwares time. We have every single Jazzwares figure ever made, all lined, at least at the time of the video, right? If you're watching this in the future, more Jazzwares figures have definitely come out. But at the time of recording, this is every single Jump Scare World Dub figure and every single Endo Series figure. So we're going to be starting off with the Jump Scare figures first because they are the cheaper figures compared to the Endo Series. So, yeah, we're going to starting off with Toy Freddy, the first ever Jazzwares figure to release. This is such a amazing figure. The jump scare feature is amazing, and Toy Freddy specifically is so iconic because I'm sure you guys have seen it. There are so many TikToks and videos of people making this guy sing random songs. The jump scare feature is hilarious, but at the cost of the jump scare feature, his head can't turn at all. You can't articulate it, which is a little disappointing, and when you try and rotate his arms, they don't rotate because the jump scare action makes it really hard for them to move because they're connected to this button. That goes for all the jump scare figures, so I'm only going to mention it once. Their heads and torsos can't turn, and their arms are very difficult to pose. I think this guy, for being a $10 figure, is a amazing Toy Freddy, and honestly, he belongs... Yeah, I think he should go in A tier. I think he is a great Toy Freddy. Next up is Toy Bonnie, and I think Toy Bonnie is practically perfect as well. His arms are easier to articulate because his jump scare is weaker since his arms are thinner, but because he weighs less, his jump scare is a lot easier to do. Again, his ears feel a little bland. I wish they were curved. You know, every time Funko makes Bonnie's ears, they always curve them. It looks really good. His ears being flat is definitely an issue, and all the jump scare figures and every single Jazzwares figure has glow-in-the-dark eyes, so I'm only going to mention that once. It's not super important since you don't see their eyes glow that much, but it is a very nice detail. So Bonnie again goes up in A tier. I think he's honestly a great figure. No, you know what? The toy, just looking at them, I think they belong in S tier. I'm being serious. These figures, these are amazing. I mean, their heads can't turn, but that's the point of the figure. These figures look perfect. I'm complaining too much. I was just looking at Toy Bonnie. I'm like, damn, that is a good Toy Bonnie. Okay, next up for Toy Chica, she is the exact same. Her body proportions are amazing. Her jump scare is awesome. Only unfortunate thing about Toy Chica, she does not come with a cupcake. I think that's very disappointing. I mean, these are $10 figures, but all the Funko figures came with accessories, but that is really my only critique. She looks identical to Toy Chica. All of her features look honestly perfect. I really like it. She goes up in S tier again. She is just honestly a great figure. The 3 toys, I mean, when you have them all lined up, it's like, damn, that is Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica. They are amazing. Next up is Mangle. Mangle is not too great. Mangle is basically destroyed by the Endo series Mangle. This one is worse in a lot of ways. This figure, even though it looks awesome, it is missing a back foot. I bought 2 Mangles to put a second foot on this one, and her feet have a weird double feet thing going on because she only technically has 2 legs. Also, her pieces are impossible to put together. If you've watched Andiematronic's review, or you've watched my review, or you have this figure for yourself, you know that this Mangle is nearly impossible to assemble without destroying it or destroying your fingers. So this Mangle looks really good, but physically putting this thing together is horrible. Her feet look weird, and she doesn't have a back leg. So I am putting her in C tier, just because what's the point? Because this Mangle is meant to be like a build and take apart. But what's the point of a build and take apart Mangle if you can't even build her or take her apart? So I'm going to be putting her in C tier. I'm going to put all the Jazzers figures in their own row, even though she could fit there, so you can see the Funko and Jazzers. So that's it for Wave 1. There was only 4 figures, 3 in S tier and 1 in C tier. Now we're checking out the FNAF 1 figures. And I know these characters come with the Office playset, okay? Each one of these figures, besides Freddy and Bonnie, comes with a piece of the Office. The Office is amazing, but we're not ranking the Office. We are ranking the figures themselves, right? Because without the Office, you still have the figures. And this Freddy is, he's pretty bad. His jump scare is very bad. Most of the time when you make him jump scare, his mouth doesn't move at all. You can see his mouth isn't moving. You have to push it in all the way for his mouth to move. And because of that, when he closes his mouth, it doesn't look great. On top of that, he's very orange, and he doesn't have any detail or dirt wash like the classic Freddy does. I know Funko Freddy has top teeth and he's not super accurate, but this guy is orange colored and he has no withering. But his face is more accurate. Of course, he doesn't have top teeth, but because his mouth is closed, he looks like almost like Grandpa Freddy. He, unfortunately, I hate to say this, isn't as good as the Funko Freddy. So he will be going in B tier. Which, oh man, he can barely stand up as well. Yeah, because for a $10 figure, Funko made him better in almost every way, which, kind of sucks. And next up, we have Bonnie, and I have to say the same thing for Bonnie. His teeth look really weird. They bend up and down around the sides of his head, which doesn't look very good. Funko Bonnie has upper teeth, but his teeth at least look good in his mouth. His ears are also completely unposed. You can see how much posing does for ears compared to this Bonnie. He is also a bright blue. Bonnie has never, FNAF 1 Bonnie at least, has never been blue. So I think this Bonnie, he has really tiny hands with no finger pads. His jaw looks really weird, and overall, his ears aren't posed. I'm going to put him in B tier as well. He just isn't very good. You know, and it's really a tie between the Funko and the Jazzers, because Funko has upper teeth, and he just... I don't know. They're both alright. There isn't a good Bonnie figure. They're both like, meh. Next up is Chica, and the crazy thing is Chica is the best of the 3. First of all, she's the only one to have pads on her hands, so I don't know why they didn't give these hands to Freddy and Bonnie, just literally recolor them. These hands look so much better. Her face looks amazing. Her face looks way better than Funko Chica. I think it looks better. Her face and body is honestly super accurate. Her torso size, her big head, I think she looks really good. I don't have any issues with this Chica figure. My only issue with Chica is she doesn't come with the cupcake. I think that's very disappointing, especially because this is a $25 figure, because she comes with the Office set. She has no cupcake. I think that's very disappointing. But besides that, the figure itself I think is perfect. The jump scare looks great. Her mouth, you would think it would look weird, but no, it looks awesome. Honestly, I think she is better than Funko Chica. Funko Chica has giant ugly eyebrows. This Chica unfortunately doesn't have any dirt wash or any detail, so I can't put her in S tier just because the toys look perfect without it. But Chica, she's a very dirty character, and you can see how good the dirt wash looks on these Chicas, so she is unfortunately going in A tier just because she's good, but she isn't great. She needs that dirty black wash. And Foxy. Foxy is out of the core 4. The Funko Foxy is up in S tier because of how good he looks. This Foxy will be going nowhere near there. First of all, his jump scare gets stuck all the time. I don't know why Foxy specifically, but sometimes when you're trying to jump scare him, you guys saw his jump scare gets stuck. It's really random. You know, he's working great now. But the thing is, because the jump scare feature, it made his neck super fat, which I think looks really really ugly. I like the silver on his endoskeleton, but his legs are way too big. The printing of the company label, just a bunch of random numbers, is right on the front. Put it on the bottom of his feet, or put it on his back or something. You're gonna put it right there on the front where everyone can see it. I don't think this figure is very good. I'm putting this in C tier. I mean, yeah, his face is more accurate than the Funko one, but his neck is super fat, and it has printing right on his leg, which is super annoying. So yeah, he goes in C tier. And Golden Freddy. I hate this figure, dude. This figure sucks. I'm a massive Golden Freddy fan. You guys can tell. This is PP Freddy. This is bright yellow PP Freddy with super dark brown ears. Golden Freddy's ears are not dark brown. They're a light yellow. Companies always do this. Funko did this with the Golden Freddy plushie. Look. They gave him dark brown ears. That is not accurate at all. His ears should be a light yellow. So this guy sucks. He's like glowing yellow. I don't know why he is so bright, but it is horrible. Golden Freddy is meant to be a dark, dirty, gross yellow. And even comparing him to some of the custom figures we're going to look at over here, look at the dirt. Look how much better that looks. So this guy, I hate, this looks nothing like Golden Freddy. He has the ugly Freddy face. Again, they just recolored Freddy. He still has his eyelids. Company couldn't be bothered to get rid of the eyelids. So Funko Golden Freddy is at least dirty. He at least looks good. This Golden Freddy, go in D tier, because he sucks. So, oh my god, he can't even stand up. Stand up, Golden Freddy. So yeah, that was wave 2 of the series. Only 1 in A tier with Chica, 2 in B tier, 1 in C tier, and 1 in D tier. So honestly, not too good for the world of figures. I thought Jazzverse was going to be better, but apparently not. And now we're moving on to a lot better wave. This is the withered wave of the jump scare figures. And like, dude, these figures are like nearly perfect. Withered Freddy is at least. Withered Freddy's face sculpt is practically perfect. They learned about the dirt wash, and they tried, and honestly, they failed. They only put it on his tummy and his nose and his ears. You can see, right? It looks good like this. Turn it to the side. Oh, they couldn't even be bothered to hit the side of his tummy or the side of his nose, and the rest of his body has a little bit of dirt wash, as you can see, which I like, but it feels really lazy, especially when you turn him to the side and you see practically no dirt wash. But besides that, he looks awesome. The silver on his endoskeleton is great. His jump scare feature works perfectly. The shape of his head is awesome. We've always wanted a withered Freddy figure, and I think this withered Freddy figure is honestly, I don't have my only complaint is with the paint. It looks really lazy, especially some of these looks like a child scribbled it on. I'm putting him in A tier simply because the Endo series Withered Freddy is just better in every way. But no, he is a amazing figure. He goes in A tier. Next up is Withered Bonnie, and this figure is very disappointing. Again, they definitely got the black wash because everyone was complaining about that. So yeah, there's black wash all over this figure, which is definitely awesome. But you know what sucks? They gave him an upper jaw on his figure. And now, it was understandable on the Endo figure, right? Because that's a part of the endoskeleton, you can't chop that off. But on Withered Bonnie, a brand new world of figure that doesn't have a proper endoskeleton, why the heck would you give him a upper jaw? It looks horrible. Remove it. They had to put extra time, money, and effort into designing a upper jaw for Withered Bonnie. Everything else about this figure, I think, is perfect. You guys know I love Withered Bonnie, right? Where's that upper jaw, right? I don't see an upper jaw in Withered Bonnie. Oh, guess what? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So this guy, because they had to go out of their way to make that upper jaw, that was the main complaint people had about that Withered Bonnie. I am putting him in B tier, because everything else looks really good. It's just that upper jaw, man, it makes me angry. Like what? Dude, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Next up is Withered Chica. I literally just unboxed this figure because I never owned her, so I literally just opened her up. And again, I'm not including the Office into this ranking. We're not ranking playsets, we're ranking action figures. Withered Chica, I think, is amazing. I don't have any complaints. The Endo series Withered Chica already looked awesome. This Withered Chica looks awesome. Her eyes are actually sunken in. A small issue on the toys is their eyes are just painted on, but her eyes are actually in there. Now, it's hard to jump scare because her arms are so big, but yeah, that jump scare feature works awesomely. Oh man, she has an Endo jaw all the way in there. The dirt wash on this figure, perfect. So dirty. I love it. This is what normal Chica should have had. This figure, I have zero complaints. I think this is literally as good as this figure. Honestly, it's a little bit better simply because the wires are actually painted and molded. These wires don't look too good. They're just giant chunks of plastic. This Withered Chica, she's going S tier. I know, I like her that much. I think this is a S tier Withered Chica figure. She's perfect. That is a perfect Withered Chica. I would not change a single thing. Withered Foxy, on the other hand, you guys know it's hard for Foxy to be in these jump scare ones because in order for his mouth to move, he needs a thick neck. And boy, they tried to make it a little better by making his neck smaller, but yeah, that neck is still really big. His blackwash looks pretty bad because you can tell where they gave up. So, I mean, the blackwash looks solid from the front, right? But you look at it from any other angle and you go, oh man, they gave up on that. So, he's not great. The withering being solid instead of cut out is disappointing. I understand why they did it for these smaller figures, but yeah, he's better in almost every way in the Endo series figure. He's fine. I'm putting him in B tier. Like, he's alright. He definitely could be better though, and the blackwash feels really lazy. Like, looking at it from this angle, you're like, oh man, yeah, they just gave up on painting it. And the next figure we have in this wave is the Puppet. And you guys know Puppet is a difficult figure to make because she's so scrawny. Like Nightmarion, you can either make a figure that's accurate or doesn't stand up, or you can make a figure that's inaccurate but it can stand up, and I love this. The fact you get the entire box, the Puppet actually jump scares out of this box is amazing, and the Puppet herself looks really accurate besides those eyes. I don't know why they gave her white eyes. It looks really stupid. I think they wanted to make the eyes glow in the dark, but it's like, dude, I would be fine if the eyes didn't glow in the dark if it looks more accurate. They take up almost her entire eyeballs, so it looks really weird. I just wish that this character had pure black eyes. It would look a lot better. The jump scare feature in the box is amazing. We've never had the Puppet in the box, and I think that's a very, very creative way to make this figure. If this Puppet didn't have her stupid eyes, she would be S tier, but she still looks amazing. I'm putting her in A tier because that is such an amazing figure. Next up is a 2-pack of Balloon Boy and Crying Child. And these figures are super accurate, but they also have no features. Even the Puppet, a weird figure, has a jump scare feature. The whole point of this line is they jump scare. And Balloon Boy doesn't jump scare. I understand why they made him. He's fully articulated, fully posable. This is the most accurate Balloon Boy figure ever. This is Balloon Boy. He doesn't have a jump scare feature, so to make up for it, they added the Crying Child. I feel that's really random. I would have much preferred a JJ figure. If they made a double pack of Balloon Boy and JJ, that would be awesome. But this figure fits perfectly in with the rest of the wave, as you can see. When you put him, he is accurate to scale. I have no complaints. I'm being so serious. Balloon Boy is an incredible figure that I wouldn't change anything about. This is the best Balloon Boy figure ever made. He goes in S tier. I know that's insane to say. Crying Child, he's 100% accurate, but my point with him is why. Why would you make this? This is such a random character. This is like making the tie-dyes or something. You should have made JJ. JJ would have gone perfectly alongside Balloon Boy. Or if you want to make a FNAF World character, because this is from FNAF World, make Dee Dee. Dee Dee has never had a figure. She's in FNAF World and Ultimate Custom Night. This figure, it's well made, but it's like, what is the point of this existing? What am I going to do with a Crying Child figure? He doesn't do anything. It's just a hunk of plastic. His head can rotate. That's about it. So he goes in B tier because it's like, what's the point of him? He looks fine, you know, but I don't know, it's what the point. And now we have the exclusive figures. So the first exclusive figure is Rockstar Freddy, and this is how you make a Rockstar Freddy. His colors are a lot more brighter and accurate than the Funko one. His jaw doesn't have that giant empty black square they put in the middle, and all his details like his star is actually shiny. His colors are so much better. Look at his toes compared to those toes, and his jump scare feature is amazing. This is a better Glamrock Freddy in every way. I'm gonna put him in A tier. I seriously have, this is the best I keep saying Rockstar Freddy. I'm very sorry. This is the best Rockstar Freddy figure ever made. Next up is Rockstar Chica, and I feel like this looks even more accurate. This Rockstar Chica is the Rockstar Chica figure. She even has her maracas. Normally they don't give the figures accessories, but they gave her maracas. I don't like Rockstar Chica. I think she's a lame, ugly character, but they got her perfect. I genuinely could not come up with a single complaint for this, so I'm gonna put her in S tier. I don't know why. It looks like she was ripped straight from the game. She goes in S tier. That is insane that almost every Chica they made, they get perfect. Toy Chica, Withered Chica, Rockstar Chica in S tier, and Normal Chica in A tier. The only reason Normal Chica is in A tier is because she doesn't have that dirty wash. That is it. Why do they get their Chica's so good, the least popular character, and the most popular character of Foxy is the worst? Mangle, Foxy, and Withered Foxy are the worst ones. It is insane. And speaking of Foxy, instead of, so they made 2 exclusives. These were for Walmart. And then they made 2 more exclusives, right? They never made Rockstar Bonnie or Rockstar Foxy. You know what you would think? Oh, we're going to make an exclusive Foxy figure for Target. Let's make Rockstar Bonnie and Rockstar Foxy. But you know what they said? You know what? People hated the FNAF AR characters so much from Funko. That is why Funko lost the license. Let's make FNAF AR characters, and let's make specifically characters who nobody cares about. Awesome. Ringmaster Foxy. Do you guys remember this figure even exists? I don't. This thing is ugly, stupid, and no one wants him. If you watched my toy hunt, every Target I went to had 8 of these in stock because no one's buying these. Yeah, he looks good, but it doesn't matter. Dude, no one wants this. No one's buying this. He's worse than normal Foxy, in my opinion. He goes D tier. Simply because he's pointless. He is a pointless character who shouldn't exist, and he should have been Rockstar Foxy. Rockstar Foxy would have been a way better character who actually would have sold, unlike him. Same thing for Magician Mangle. Magician Mangle is incredibly well detailed. She's even better detailed than normal Mangle. She has her back foot, she has an amazing dirty wash, she looks super accurate, but this figure cannot stay together. When I bought my figure, the ear fell out of the ear hole, as well as her head can't stay on in the slightest. This Mangle, you can bend her head so it's super small, her neck can't bend at all. It basically can't bend, and her head falls out all the time. Watch this. Oh, and there it goes. She has no head. So this figure is incredibly well detailed, but it is not well made. The pieces are very difficult to put together, and that was Edwin. I'm sorry. And the head falls out all the time. She is better detailed than Ringmaster Foxy. I would say she definitely is a little bit better than Mangle. She's more detailed, but she can't even stay together. So you know what? We're just going to leave her head. She was missing an ear and her head can't stay on. So that is every single World of Figure ranked. Do you agree with my ranking? None are in F tier. I don't think any are that bad. The 2 worst ones are Ringmaster Foxy and Golden Freddy. Then the 3 in C tier are Mangle, Foxy, and Magician Mangle. Then in B tier, we have Freddy, Bonnie, Withered Foxy, Crying Child. Then in A tier, we have Chica, Withered Freddy, Puppet, and Rockstar Freddy. Then in S tier, we have Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Withered Chica, Balloon Boy, and Rockstar Chica. I don't like Chica as a character, but they made these figures perfect. I have no complaints. So those were all amazing, and those were only the $10 figures. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Endo Series figures. So now we have all the Endo Series figures. The one that just released is the glow-in-the-dark radioactive Foxy and the like shadow Bonnie one. Both of those are still in the mail. I don't have them at the time of filming, so I have every other one. I don't have those yet. If you want to know where I would rank them, I would rank the radioactive Foxy in B tier because he feels unnecessary. You could have made a way cooler exclusive. It's a FNAF AR skin. They made Shadow Freddy the exclusive and the weird Shadow Bonnie, but it's not Shadow Bonnie, it's just Bonnie but black. I would honestly put him in D tier. I want a real Shadow Bonnie figure. That figure is stupid, and he's in one random minigame in VR, so I would put the weird Shadow Bonnie in D tier, and I would put the Glow Foxy in B tier. So now, checking these out, we actually have to check out the original Endo skeleton, because you can't have any of the figures without the Endo, and this is the first ever FNAF 1 Endo skeleton ever made, which I think this is the only FNAF 1 Endo figure ever made, and I think he looks perfect. His posability is amazing. He's actually more posable than any of the figures because their suits really limit his posability. He can move in the middle. His joints can drop down from these legs. He has a fully articulated head with a opening mouth. I mean, everything about this guy, I think, honestly, is amazing. He is an incredible figure, and we've never had an endoskeleton figure. He only kind of sucks because he has all these holes all over him where you're supposed to put the joints and everything. So I think he looks really, really good. I really like him. I'm going to put him up in A tier, honestly. I think he's a really great looking figure, and yeah, you need a classic endoskeleton. I really like him. Sorry, I'm just posing his arms down because it's like, so there's room for the other figures. Yeah, endoskeleton. Now, checking out classic Freddy Fazbear, he's a little disappointing. These figures are $25, and while he's kind of disappointing, Jazzwares does the thing where the nose goes all the way back into their head, which looks really weird. The Funko has never done that, so I don't know why Jazzwares is doing that. He's also a bright orange, which just isn't accurate, and he doesn't have any black wash, which is very disappointing. But he has a opening jaw, unlike that Freddy. He is a lot more posable than that Freddy, and he doesn't have any top teeth. So I'm going to put him in A tier, because I'd say he is equally as good and bad as Funko Freddy, being bigger and more posable, but not being orange and not having any dirty blackwash. They're both honestly really even. Same thing for Bonnie. I think this Bonnie is the same as the Funko Bonnie. He looks really good. I like his hollowed out eyes, but honestly, I like him more than the Jazzwares and the Funko Bonnie. His hollow eyes look great. He doesn't have the dirty black wash, but everything else looks really good. His pose, his colors, I think he's better than both of the Funko Bonnies, so I put this Bonnie up in A tier because I think this is a very, very good Jazzwares Bonnie. I really like him. So yeah, he goes in A tier. Next up is Chica the chicken, and I think she is just as good as the jump scare Chica. Again, she has no, like dirt black wash, but her hollow eyes make up for that. They look really good. She has no top teeth, so again, I think she is her hands are really small though. I hate how small they made all the FNAF 1 hands. Their hands should be a lot bigger. These hands feel really tiny and weird, but other than that, I think she is really, really good. I really like Chica. She looks really great. And the last FNAF 1 figure we have is Foxy, and this guy is kind of disappointing. His pupil feels really big, like he is a FNAF World character, and on top of that, he doesn't have any actual withering. They painted it all brown, and I think that is extremely disappointing because it's not very accurate. His arms feel really thin, and when you try and move him around, his arms pop off a lot because they're so tiny, and all the withering, they added so much great detail to his legs, and they didn't even paint it. And then on the endoskeleton, they didn't give him his custom 2 toes. That's still 3 toes, which is inaccurate, and he has these holes on the endoskeleton that are like right in your face. So I don't think this figure is very good. I'm honestly, he's better than that one though. I'm putting him in B tier just because I feel like he could be a lot better. Next up is Withered Freddy. I think this guy is practically perfect. He has a little bit of black wash. They tried on his belly and his face. Obviously, he needs a lot more black wash. He really doesn't have much. You could always add that yourself, but his face looks incredible. His face is perfect. His eyes are actually hollowed out, unlike the FNAF 1 Freddy. Everything about this guy is literally perfect. This is the perfect Withered Freddy figure, so he goes up in S tier. I would not change a single thing about him. Maybe just make him more dirty. That's about it. Withered Bonnie is also really good, but I definitely have some issues. You can see compared to my Withered Bonnie. First of all, his eyes kind of suck. They're all sunken in, and it looks really weird, and they're hexagons when his eyes are very clearly circles. It's so easy to make a circle, but the biggest issue, again, is that upper jaw. When his mouth is open, it looks really off because his whole mouth is hollow, so it looks really weird from the side. Withered Bonnie doesn't open his jaw, so it doesn't make much sense. But yeah, that upper jaw doesn't look good, and his color is wrong. They made him purple when Withered Bonnie has always been blue. Withered Bonnie is a definitive blue color, so I'm putting him in B tier as well, just because he's basically as bad as that Bonnie, which is very disappointing because I love Withered Bonnie so much. Next up, Withered Chica. I think she's perfect. She has huge, hollowed, sunken out eyes. She actually has less black wash than that figure, and her arms are a little less wiry, but she's bigger with more posability, and all her chunks are actually 3D. You can see the endoskeleton underneath all the withering. That is a amazing detail. This figure belongs up in S tier. She is that good of an action figure. I love her. So now Withered Foxy. This is easily the worst figure of the wave because his withering is so atrocious. So they cut out holes for Withered Freddy, Withered Chica, and Withered Bonnie. But Withered Foxy is just red. It's not even black or silver. It is red, and I think this looks awful. This makes the Withered Foxy character look absolutely, honestly, just horrible. His face looks great. I love his face. The face is the only good thing about him, though. All this withering, I think, sucks. They even did it on his pants. It is super, super disappointing. This figure could have been awesome. It could have been hollow. The point of the Endo series figures is you see the endoskeleton inside of them. And this, there's no endoskeleton to see. I think this one sucks. I'm putting it in D tier. This figure is a horrible version of Withered Foxy, and yeah, I actually recommend that one a lot more because his withering is at least silver. They at least tried a little bit. And the exclusive of the figure is Shadow Freddy. You guys know I love Shadow Freddy so much. He's my boy. I love Shadow Freddy, and the Withered Freddy figure was already perfect. This Freddy's even more perfect. They even gave him the black eyes so he doesn't have the normal eyes for the endoskeleton, and you can use these eyes on other figures. You could use these in Bonnie to recreate that one scene. You could use one of them in Withered Freddy to recreate this scene. So these eyes are super universal. You can use them on all figures. And yeah, it's Shadow Freddy. He's so awesome and black. What is not to love it? Well, he's actually purple, I guess. So Shadow Bonnie would be awesome in black. Shadow Freddy is awesome in purple. So yeah, those are all of wave 1. It is a very, very good wave with 3 figures in S tier, 3 figures in A tier, 2 figures in B tier, none in C, and 1 in D, and none in F. Not a single Jazzverse figure has gone in F tier, and I don't know if any will. Next up, checking out wave 2, again, with no exclusives, just because that Shadow Bonnie and that Radioactive Foxy aren't out yet. So starting off with the first one is the Endo 02. This endoskeleton is perfect. His holes, he doesn't have any. He only has a few on his legs, but on his upper torso, there's nothing. It looks way better than this one, and he's actually dirty, he's rusty, and his ears can fold back when you need to put him in. This is perfect. This is a perfect Endo 02. He goes up in S tier. That is a 1-for-1 figure. I would not change a single thing about it. So accurate. I love it. Next up is Toy Freddy. I know it's a little crazy to say this because this figure is more expensive, but I don't think he's as good as the jump scare figure. The jump scare figure, you look at that, I could imagine that being a render from FNAF 2. But this guy, his face feels weird. Something about it feels off. He just feels... his proportions seem weird. His legs seem too long. He doesn't seem round enough like Toy Freddy. His colors seem a little too dark, and his eyes just look a little lifeless. I don't know, but in a bad way. Not his. He doesn't look as good as Toy Freddy. Honestly, I don't really like him that much. He's twice the price, and he's not even as good. And the worst thing about this figure is his joints pop off all the time. Because of how fat he is, his joints pop off the endoskeleton all the time. You can see that one is literally coming off the endo. If I try to move his arms or pose him at all, his joints just want to come off. I can't even pose his arm without that popping off. You see, that wants to crack open like a pistachio. His torso wants to crack open. His head wants to crack open. He's not a very well-made figure. For being twice the price, he's pretty disappointing, honestly. I'm putting him in B tier. He doesn't look very good. The same thing goes for Toy Bonnie. Now, I think Toy Bonnie looks a little bit better, but not really. Again, this Toy Bonnie is perfect. That is Toy Bonnie. He's slender. His face is accurate. It looks like Toy Bonnie. This Toy Bonnie, his eyes are way too sunken in. He doesn't have his eyelashes. Again, the pieces want to pop off and crack really easily, and he's way too fat. They made him fat because he has to fit around the endoskeleton, but it doesn't look like Toy Bonnie. His pelvis is way too massive. Toy Bonnie has a very, very tiny pelvis. That's just a little piece. This is a jumbo-sized pelvis. I think this is... Oh, okay, Toy Freddy fell over. That scared me. I think this is honestly a lot worse, and they gave him extra teeth. The one thing Jazzverse tries not to do, they literally gave him 2 extra teeth on the side of his head that he doesn't even have. I'm gonna have to put this in B tier as well, because this figure, it's just, well, it's a worse version of Toy Bonnie for twice the price. Like, I don't know why anyone would want to buy this figure, but yeah, we're trying to set Toy Freddy back up. Okay, Toy Freddy, come on, stand up. All right, there. So yeah, Toy Bonnie and Toy Freddy both go in B tier because they aren't very good. Toy Chica. Oh my god, this is the worst figure Jazzverse has ever made. This thing is atrocious. This is supposed to be $25. Dude, this doesn't look like Toy Chica at all. The C tier high score Toy Chica has a better look from Funko, has a better looking face than this. It's insane to me because the world of Toy Chica is perfect. That is Toy Chica 1-for-1. This one's head is way too almost squared off. Her eyes always look like that. That's not an issue with my figure. Her eyes are always looking up. Her teeth have basically no paint. They're just orange. And her entire body is way too big and fat because Toy Chica has the skinniest, tiniest build. She's the smallest toy animatronic. And this, they make her legs and arms and torso and pelvis way too big. She's meant to be a skinny animatronic, and her feet never stay on. If you try and pose her feet at all, the feet just fall right off. Like, see? You can't move the feet at all. They literally fall off. On any of the other figures, they would just move, but this figure was so poorly designed. Her face is ugly. That I'm sorry to say this. This is F tier. Her pieces are already cracking off, as you can see. I didn't even move it. None of the pieces want to stay together. She is so ugly with horrible paint, and she is twice the price as this Toy Chica, as the S tier Toy Chica. They made her twice as expensive and so much worse. She is in F tier. Now, next up is the Endo Series Mangle. This is perfect. This is the perfect Mangle figure. This Mangle figure was good, but it was hard to put together, and it didn't come with a back leg. This Mangle figure is so much easier to put together, comes with a back leg, actually is shiny detailed endo paint, and you can pose the jaws. It sucked about that Mangle because she was in jump scare mode, but you can pose both of these Mangle's jaw to put them in any way you want. This Mangle, perfect. This is the perfect Mangle figure ever. Goes up in S tier because, oh man, she is so good. Like, this Mangle, I love it so much. I love it. That is a perfect mangle. Now, the Fnaf AR characters. The last figures from Jazzwares. That makes me say why, right? You could have made, for characters that are supposed to be, like, interchangeable, the Endo series is you're meant to take apart the figures and put them back together. You know, Toy Freddy has black eyes like Shadow Freddy. You could have given him his black eyes. Toy Chica, her beak and eyes are removable. That is the most iconic thing about Toy Chica. And instead of either making her beak and eyes removable, like every other part of her is, or even giving her an entire secondary head, they made the Fnaf AR figures. And you know the crazy thing? These figures are worse than the Funko ones. This Toy Freddy has way more lines that you can see through, but those aren't the lines. This Toy Freddy has actual detail on his body. They didn't give him any of those circuit board detail, and his visor is inaccurate. It's a little curved up line. That's not what it looks like. It looks like that. It's crazy. This is going in C tier. This figure, first of all, shouldn't exist. And the fact that you make a figure of a dead game that hasn't been relevant in years, and you make it worse than Funko for twice the price, absolutely ridiculous to me. System Error Toy Bonnie isn't as bad. I love his texture. They gave him the physical texture, right? So that's good. And I think he looks really cool with the big yellow eyes, and his color is actually better than that System Error Toy Bonnie. But again, I still have some issues. First of all, they gave him the extra teeth. They just painted them red. They didn't bother removing them. And this is another figure that makes me say, why? Why would you make this? Why would you make Fnaf AR? Fnaf AR has been deleted from the App Store for years at this point. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes that game. It is the worst Fnaf game ever made, and you still make figures of it. This figure is slightly better than Toy Freddy, but I can't rank this any higher than B tier, simply because he should not exist. It is a stupid character, and you know what? Oh, you want to know a recolored version of Toy Bonnie? Shadow Bonnie! This should have been Shadow Bonnie, and instead they make a stupid Fnaf AR skin. And this one is probably the worst figure ever made. Toy Chica was already ugly, and this one's even uglier. Her eyes have that horrible upper thing. The high score Toy Chica, they didn't make any of the details physical. The Funko one at least made the pixels actual dots on there. They just printed this on. She's fat, she's ugly, she's already a horrible character, and the only thing I liked about the Funko one is it came with the 8-bit cupcake. This doesn't come with a cupcake or an 8-bit cupcake, and it's twice the price. This piece of garbage, going down in F tier. Yeah, these are the only two Jazzwares figures that belong in F tier, and it's both the Toy Chicas, because they're both garbage. And the very last Jazzwares figure we are taking a look at is Shadow Mangle. Shadow Mangle is a very irrelevant character. I don't know why they decided to make her. They should have made Phantom Mangle. That would have been a better recolor of Mangle. But, I mean, there's you don't have to choose. When you buy an Endo figure, you get one endoskeleton and 2 costume parts. So you have to decide if you want Freddy or Withered Freddy. But when you buy the Mangle pack, the Shadow Mangle comes for free. You don't need to disassemble Mangle. You get this as a bonus. You get Mangle and Shadow Mangle. You can display them both at the same time. So for the price, you get 2 fully posable figures, and it's just Mangle but black. I mean, it's stupid. It shouldn't exist, but it looks really good, so I'm putting it in A tier just because it's a really well-made figure. It just, again, it's kind of like, why would you make Shadow Mangle? She's not a very cool character, but she at least looks good. So that is every single Jazzwares figure ever made, and I gotta say, overall, Jazzwares is better than Funko. A lot of Jazzwares figures rank a lot higher than Funko figures. I would say most Jazzwares figures are better than Funko, and Jazzwares makes so many characters Funko never made, like the toys and the Wizards. So we have all these figures up here for Jazzwares. Jazzwares figures are so good, it's actually 2 rows. A bunch of Jazzwares figures in A tier. A lot of Fnaf. I think almost every Bonnie they made is in B tier, because Jazzwares Bonnies just aren't very good. One is in A tier and one is in S tier. But yeah, a lot of Bonnies, and then in C and D, Jazzwares just can't get a Foxy right. Almost every single Foxy is in B, C, or D tier. None of them are in A or S tier. So we have Foxy, Ringmaster Foxy, and Withered Foxy. There's not very good figures. They were not very well made. And then in D tier, we also have Golden Freddy, because he's super inaccurate. And in F tier, the 2 worst figures is Toy Chica and High Score Toy Chica, because normal Toy Chica is an S tier figure. That is a perfect Toy Chica, and instead they just ruined her. So this is my ranking for all of my Jazzwares figures. Jazzwares is way better than Funko, with only 2 figures in F tier, and Funko has about 4 entire waves of figures in F tier. So Jazzwares obviously is better than Funko. I'm so happy Jazzwares has the license, because sure, they sometimes make bad figures like Toy Chica or Ringmaster Foxy, but a majority of their figures are very, very well made. I hate Rockstar Chica, and she's an S tier figure. I hate Balloon Boy, and he's an S tier figure. I don't care for Withered Chica, and both variants of her are in S tier. They're amazing. Who thought Endo 02 would have been an S tier figure? I think overall, Jazzwares is doing an incredible job. Those Security Breach and those Sister Location figures look nearly perfect. Every single Security Breach figure will be in in S tier, and every single Sister Location figure will be in A tier. They all look that good. I love them that much. So this is my ranking. Let me know where you would rank all the Jazzwares figures, and it's finally time to check out the custom figures before we end off this video. So we have a lot of custom figures here, and the first one that I want to take a look at is this custom stuffed suit Freddy. Now this is the only custom that is made off a existing figure. All the rest of them are just made from nothing. They're completely homemade. So I wanted to look at this first because this is a Funko Freddy that was turned into a stuffed suit Freddy, and I think it is incredible. This is so much better than the classic Freddy because first of all, they removed the top teeth. Absolutely amazing. Both of the eyeballs look so bloody and disgusting popping out of the head. They actually hollowed out the head. The bloody torso, the rip there. I think this is Funko Freddy, but way better. He's way dirtier and scarier. Even the hat was moved to mimic that perfectly. I gotta put this Freddy up in A tier, simply because of how good he looks. So the next figure I'm going to be taking a look at is Bite Fredbear. He is a really awesome figure, but you have to remember when ranking these figures, you have to consider the price. And I spent a lot of money on this guy because he was custom made just for me. And I'm going to be honest, I feel like he's lacking in a couple departments. Mainly, he can't stand up on his own. His legs are so weak and floppy that he can't stand up. And for a figure that was a couple hundreds of dollars for this guy, I feel like it's a little disappointing. His eyes are also bright orange. I don't know if Fredbear has orange eyes, and I feel like there's a couple departments where he's kind of lacking in. So unfortunately, I am going to have to put Bite Fredbear in B tier. See, he doesn't even want to stand up. Look, I try and put him there, and he wants to fall right over. So yeah, he goes in B tier. I'm gonna fix him. Okay, I finally got him standing up, and the main reason what sucks about a custom figure falling over constantly like this is I paid so much money for him. If he falls and breaks, I can't buy a new one. He's broken forever, which I feel like is very disappointing when the weakest part of him is his legs. Also, I don't think his torso should be split in the middle. I don't think Fredbear ever had something like that, so that's another issue. Now let's rank Spring Bonnie. Now, Spring Bonnie was made by the same seller, and he's really cool. Spring Bonnie has two heads, one with a posable jaw of a classic Spring Bonnie head, and one with a spring-locked William Afton. I always keep him in spring-locked William Afton because he's really cool, but this figure, you can see when I pick him up, he is even worse than Fredbear. Every single joint on him is so floppy. His head doesn't want to stay up at all, his legs are just completely like noodles, and he is almost too big and too floppy, that he is even bigger than Fredbear when Spring Bonnie is actually a little smaller than Fredbear, so he's not accurate to size, he's way too big, and all of his joints are so floppy. I can get Fredbear to stand, he is impossible to stand up. See, I literally can't stand him up at all. If I let go, he's going to fall, and I'm going to break a figure that was over $500. And this figure, a figure that can't even stand up, he's way too big, his color's way too different from Fredbear, these were both made by the same guy, and his head can't even hold itself up. I don't think this was really worth the price, to be honest. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put him in C tier. And I have to lay him down because, first of all, he's too tall to even stand up on the shelf. And if I set him up, he's going to fall down and he's going to fall and break. So I feel like when I pay this much, over $500 for a custom figure, I think he should probably be able to stand up. So, yeah, those are pretty disappointing. Checking out the next figure now, we have Endo02, and he is missing an ear. That's completely my fault. He fell off the shelf and broke. That's why I don't like this figure that much, because Spring Bonnie fell over, he knocked Endo02 off the shelf, and he broke his ear, which is really, really unfortunate. This figure is amazing, though. His eyes literally light up. The only FNAF figure I own with light up eyes. He has a little switch back here. How do I turn him on? Okay, this one is on. On? Come on. On, there we go, look at that. Light up eyes, absolutely incredible. All of his things are posable. His toes are posable, his fingers are posable, his ears are posable, his eyelids themselves are posable. He is such a incredible figure. I am putting him up in S tier. If the Jazzwares one goes in S tier, then this Endo02 goes up in S tier as well. He is so good. Next up after him, we're looking at Plushtrap. Plushtrap is really cool because I didn't pay anything for him. He was given to me as a gift, but he is just a static figure. He can't move. He's almost like a statue. He looks really accurate for Plushtrap, and he is in an amazing pose, but for the fact that he's basically a statue who can't move, he's kind of just a hunk of plastic. He still looks really good, but I'm going to put him in B tier just because he's basically stuck in this pose, and whenever I put him on a shelf, it looks like he's looking down. The only shelf he looks good on is my top shelf, but I don't display figures on my top top shelf, so it's really hard to look at him a lot of the time. So he's an amazing figure, but he's going in B tier because he's just not posable at all. Next up, we're going to be looking at Springtrap, and this is probably one of, if not my favorite custom figures I own. Every single thing is posable on this guy. His mouth is posable. You can open it to see William Afton. He has real organs and blood inside of him, and every single hand is interchangeable. You can see over here, he has a whole bunch of extra hands and extra weapons. He can hold a pizza cutter, he can hold a knife, he can hold a giant cutter. He has so many different things that he can hold on to, and he even comes with a little Springtrap plushie. This guy is amazing. I have him holding his axe, like Dead by Daylight. Everything is fully posable on him. This is probably my favorite custom figure I own. I think it is, at least. So yeah, Springtrap is literally perfect. I would not change a single thing about him. He definitely belongs up in S tier. Next up after that, we are taking a look at Ignited Bonnie. This figure was given to me as a gift as well when I bought the rest of the Withered set. So Ignited Bonnie is amazing. He was literally free. I think he's really cool. The wires being string look kind of cheap and low quality, like you can tell it's string. Everything else about him is awesome. His face looks just like Ignited Bonnie. His arm is awesome. The fingers are posable. I don't pose them because I like them in that pose. And he has the rest of his legs, so he doesn't have too much going on just because Ignited Bonnie is missing so many parts of him. He has basically no torso or arm. He's missing a whole bunch of chunks. He is a really awesome figure, but Ignited Bonnie just as a character I don't think is that cool, so it makes the figure a little lame, and the string I feel like makes the figure look a lot cheaper. Would have been a lot better if they used some real wires, but he was free. I can't complain too much, so yeah, I'm gonna be putting him in B tier just because I think he's really awesome, but there's not too much to look at with Ignited Bonnie, and the string makes him look pretty cheap. And now we're getting into some of the coolest figures I own. Obviously the full set of Withereds, so we're going to check out the one outlier, Nightmare Fredbear. This is the first ever most expensive custom figure I bought from the original $1 versus $1,000 video of custom figures, and he still holds up to this day. He is absolutely perfect. His jaw can fully open. He has amazing teeth. He has a full endoskeleton, the full belly teeth. He stands up perfectly. He doesn't have wiggly joints, which is really weird because this Nightmare Fredbear was made by the same guy who made the Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. Those joints are super wiggly. This guy's joints are solid. He doesn't fall over at all. This is a perfect Nightmare Fredbear figure. It looks like he was ripped out from the game. You can see all the little details, everything on him. He is so incredibly detailed. Nightmare Fredbear easily goes up in S tier, and him and Springtrap are tied for probably my two favorite custom figures I own, along with one of the Withered characters. So let's finally take a look at the Withered figures. Now, I bought and commissioned all of these Withered figures before I bought these before Jazzwares came out, so these were technically the first Withered figures. First, taking a look at Withered Freddy. Oh my god, he is amazing. I've used him in so many thumbnails simply because he is such an incredible looking Freddy. Now, I did break his eye. That was completely my fault. You can see his eyeball right there on the desk. I broke his eye. That was my fault. That was not the seller's fault. Everything else about him is amazing. His top hat is magnetic, so you can move it. His eyeballs are posable. He gave me a little tool to touch them around in there and to move them. He has a full endo jaw with full Withered Freddy teeth. His microphone is also magnetic. You can remove that as well. The detail and the withering on this guy is what Jazzwares figures should have been. He doesn't look smooth. He looks dirty and old and rough. This guy is amazing. He's also got me so many views on YouTube because I use him so many times. This is the best Withered Freddy figure ever made. And if I'm gonna put the Jazzwares Withered Freddy in S tier, there's no way I can't put the custom Withered Freddy in S tier. Only bad thing about him is because he's so big and heavy. Oh my god. Yeah, he almost falls. His joints are a little bit weak, so yeah, I have to pose him like that. I don't pose him up on the top shelf. I normally pose him here on this shelf because he is so big. But yeah, there he is, Withered Freddy up in S tier where he belongs. Next up, of course, is Withered Bonnie, and I think obviously this is the best Withered Bonnie figure ever made. Now, he has something very, very cool. He is my only other figure to light up. You have to push this button in the back, and his eyes light up. I don't like his lights as much as the Endo figure because he doesn't have a permanent on mode, and you have to, and the lights are a little dim. But he actually came with a addable Withered Bonnie face. So just like in all the fan animations, when Withered Bonnie has a face, this guy has a face as well. I can't put it in, but there's a rod you push in. And yeah, it's Withered Bonnie with his face. I think that is a very, very awesome detail. But for being the best Withered Bonnie figure ever made, there's some disappointing farts. First of all, his ears aren't posable. They're forever stuck in this push down position, which I don't like. I feel like they hang down too low, which is very disappointing. Everything else is posable on him. His arms, you can see the endoskeleton in there. But I gotta be honest, I feel like his face doesn't look much like Withered Bonnie's face. Something about him, right? This is 1-for-1 Withered Bonnie. I took the files from FNAF, so that is exactly what he looks like. Something about his face looks off. Maybe his face is too circular. Maybe the endo head is not big enough. Something about it looks weird to me. I can't put my finger on it, but it looks very weird. His arm wires are also a couple real ones mixed in with the little pieces of string, which I'm not a big fan of. And everything else, I feel like his color is way too bright blue. Withered Bonnie is a very dark blue. And for this being a couple $100 figure, I would like it to be, I don't know, 100% accurate. And I feel like that isn't crazy to say that. Obviously, he's my best Withered Bonnie figure I own, but I'm such a big Withered Bonnie fan that I want him to be perfect, and I don't think he looks as good as my cosplay. So I am going to be putting him in A tier. Man, this is a tight fit. He is very big. Yeah, dude, look at the size of him compared to all the other figures. Oh my gosh, he is so big. Now, checking out Withered Chica. Withered Chica isn't from the same seller who made these Withereds. This was one of the first figures I bought. This was, again, from the custom figure video. This was made by the guy who made the Endo 02 figure. And my biggest issue with Withered Chica is she is so floppy. She flops around, and you can see she already fell and broke her head feather. Everything about her looks really good, but she's not as good as the other Endo figures, and she's actually kind of small. She doesn't fit in with the size of them. She's like an inch too small. She's super floppy, and her eyes aren't even posable, which is very disappointing. You can't move them around like the rest of these figures. You can move Withered Freddy's eyes around. It's a little disappointing. So she is a amazing figure, and she was one of the first ones I bought. She wasn't as expensive as the other ones, but simply because she falls over so much, I have a very hard time displaying her. I always have to keep her on the back of my okay, yeah, see, she doesn't even want to stand up because her joints are so loose. Just like all the other ones. So I can barely ever display Withered Chica because of how loose her joints are, which makes it very disappointing. She can't stand with the rest of the figures. So there. I'm still worried she's going to fall over. Yeah, her joints are way too loose. It's very hard to pose her. Now, checking out Withered Foxy, he looks really good, but something about him, I feel like he is honestly the worst one out of the Withereds that I bought. His eyes look good, but his head feels too big for the rest of his body. His torso is way too tiny. This torso is like way too small. Looks like he put on an extra small t-shirt. The torso should be twice that size. And his face is way too big. His head is too big and the torso is too small. Something about him isn't great. His jaw can't close at all either. Every time you try and close his jaw, just opens back up. His eyes are a lot more difficult to move. He is a great figure, but I feel like he's not as good compared to the other Withereds. He's kind of disappointing, so I'm going to have to put him down here in B tier simply because his proportions are really off. And if I paid $1,000 for this guy, I think that's how much I paid. It was a lot. It was a lot of money. I want him to be more accurate. Like, these Foxies have a more accurate, like, body type. Look at this Withered Foxy. See how big the torso is? He's just as... His pelvis, too, is way too tiny. He's just... His proportions for... You see how big Withered Freddy is? Withered Freddy's giant. And this guy's disappointing. And now let's look at the very last custom figure. Checking out the very last custom figure we have, Withered Golden Freddy. You guys know I'm a big Golden Freddy fan, and Withered Golden Freddy is perfect. He even broke off a couple teeth, but I don't care. He's amazing. His jaw is way more open and unhinged, just like real Golden Freddy. His eyes are pure black. His top hat is magnetic. His little microphone is magnetic. He is incredibly well detailed. I mean, this is my favorite figure I own. As much as I love Nightmare Fredbear and Springtrap, I think this is the best one. You see this on a shelf and you go, oh my god, that Withered Golden Freddy looks perfect. Perfect. His shoulder pads are posable. How do you even think of that? Not only that, he gave me extra joint pieces so I can pose him in the iconic Golden Freddy pose. So he is so posable that normally action figures can't hit the Golden Freddy pose. This guy has specially made pieces just for hitting that Golden Freddy pose. So he belongs right up here in S tier. I think it's very disappointing Jazzwares has never made a Golden Freddy or a Withered Golden Freddy Endo figure. They made all the others except him. So these are where I rank all my custom figures. Stuffed Sue Freddy, Springtrap, Nightmare Fredbear, Withered Freddy, and Withered Golden Freddy. I know it might not seem like he's worth it, but you have to keep in mind, I only paid like 50 bucks or something for him. I paid a couple $100 for the rest of these. Then in A tier, we have Withered Bonnie. He looks really good. He just has a couple things I would change, make his ears posable, and make his head more accurate shape, and change his coloring. Then in B tier, I actually have most of my custom figures. I'm only harsh with ranking these because I spent so much money. These figures together are a couple $1,000s. Fredbear is way too wiggly, and he doesn't look as accurate as Fredbear should be. Plushtrap is unposable. Igniting Bonnie looks cheap with the string. Withered Chica's joints are way too floppy and loose, and they cause her to fall. And Withered Foxy's torso and pelvis are way too skinny, and his proportions are very bad. And then the lowest ranking custom figure I have is Spring Bonnie, simply because he cannot stand up at all. He cannot hold himself up. He has to be up against a wall, and he's way too big, and his colors don't look very good. So this is every single action figure ever made ranked. Let me know, do you agree? I think, in my opinion, the best action figure of all time is Withered Golden Freddy that I own. But if I had to rank normal figures that you could buy, I don't know who I would choose. I love all of them. If I had to be honest, I would probably choose Ennard. Ennard is a beautifully detailed figure. If I had to choose a Jazzwares figure, I would probably choose Shadow Freddy, because I really like him. And the worst figure ever made, any of these are really horrible, and I wouldn't recommend them. Probably the tie-dyes, though. I think the tie-dyes are just the worst. I hate them so much. So yeah, this is every figure ever made. I know this video was extremely long, but yeah, I really hope you guys did enjoy this IRL tier list. Let me know what is your favorite and least favorite figure, and enter in the giveaway for all these Jazzwares figures, because yes, there's a lot I have to give away. I'm gonna choose how many figures do I have? I'll choose as many winners as I have. If that's 8 winners or 10 winners, I can't count them. But yeah, so let me know what you guys thought. That is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you all later. Goodbye!